What is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. In this video I'm going to be talking about Iron Banner this week. It's live, there's loot to be had, but if you're going to collect that loot, obviously you want to win matches, rank up your reputation so that you can start getting those drops at rank 3 for the weapons. You'll start getting the Finalis Peril at rank 3, and I believe the HMG starts dropping at rank 4. Now here's a series of engagements where equipment is the deciding factor. Here I get that grenade kill, and this is the Grasp of Malak, and showed you my role there. I really like this gun. I've been juggling a few different primaries, mainly the Grasp of Malak, my Ace of Spades, my Hakon's Hatchet, which I'll show you later, and occasionally the Mida Multi-Tool, just because of its versatility. Now here, you can see on the radar, I'm just surrounded by guys, but obviously I want to get a pick, so I prime one. I want to follow it up with a kill, so I jump over this wall to pursue him and to get away from the guy that pushed me. Now there's like 3 guys here, so I'm going to round this corner, chuck the throwing knife, and instantly take a sharp turn to the right and then to the left to stay out of this guy's line of sight, get the hip fire with the sniper rifle, and then follow it up with a grenade. So equipment is the deciding factor here. And so between those few engagements, I had 2 grenade kills and 1 throwing knife kill. So you really got to be mindful of what's cooled down and what you have available to you, because just only relying on your guns all the time can sometimes get you killed. Another thing you want to be mindful of is spawn flips. Now notice I'm the furthest back person on my team. I push up here to get a couple of picks off of the A catwalk over here. Now suddenly I realize everyone's in front of me, so I spin around. Sure enough, radar is lit up. There's a couple guys back here. So the spawns got flipped. This is my Hakon's Hatchet with third eye, injection mold, and hipfire accuracy. So it's pretty versatile. It's not phenomenal, but hey, it gets the job done, as you can see here. So just make sure you're watching that radar. Be mindful of where your teammates are, because as your teammates continue to push forward, sometimes that could be a bad thing. If you're in a full fire team, you can communicate and say, hey guys, let's back off a little bit. We don't want to... Sometimes you lose control when suddenly you have enemies on both sides of you. So you want to keep them all in front of you. Much easier to manage opponents that way. So make sure you're mindful of where your teammates are. If you're in a full fire team, make sure you communicate. Here I get tagged with a fireball grenade. Again, it's all about the equipment. I throw that trip mine, and he was just out of range of it, but I followed up with a throwing knife to save my life. And you're obviously going to be juggling supers. So I was using my Waylorn's March, but I ended up switching to a higher impact sniper, because if I want to win these matches, I need to sometimes be able to shut down supers. So it's a lot easier to do that with a higher impact sniper. And in 6s, especially in 6s, you're just going to be dealing with a lot more roaming supers than you're going to be doing in 3s. And in 3s, it's a little bit easier to get away from them. So, but in 6s, not so much. Sometimes you just have to stand your ground and stand and deliver. So that's what I did. Now, heavy is a huge factor in Iron Banner. You know I hate using heavy ammo, but I'm not going to deliberately play at a disadvantage when I have teammates that are trying to rank up, and that only happens when you win games. So I'm not going to put my teammates and myself at a disadvantage going against a full team of 6 that's going to be using heavy ammo as well. I hate it, but you know what? That's a necessary evil in Iron Banner. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on that clock so that you can get heavy control. If you can deny both heavies, hey, that's fantastic. That's a great opportunity for you to sort of, create a few 1,000-point lead, and that's a lot of ground they have to make up after heavy is wasted. So keep that in mind. Watch those clocks. 9 and 6 minutes are typically when heavy spawns. Sometimes there's a third heavy round, depending on how long the match goes. So also make sure that you're keeping in mind what zones you want to capture. So that depends on the map. Obviously on a Black Shield, something that's symmetrical like this, then there's no more advantageous spawn that's better than the other. They're the same thing. So just make sure you got one of the spawns in B and push out there. This here is a solid, I think it was a 17 kill streak, but went on like 17 kill streak here. That grenade killed a guy, so I was like, hey, I'll just put one in the same spot. Yeah, killed the second guy. Alright. Now I got a guy above me, so I'm just using my mobility just to kind of run around, create some distance, create some confusion, use the throwing knife after a couple of hipfire shots to get the kill. So also, special ammo is a big factor. Make sure that you're making your rounds, collecting your special ammo, because special weapons do play quite a role in this game. Here I get the hipfire on this shotgunner, and my teammate's there to clean him up. So it's good to communicate, ask for help when you need it, callouts are a huge factor in 6s because there's just so much going on. Any clarity you can offer to the situation is definitely needed. Now, speaking of callouts, one of the things that you can do that's going to be really helpful for your teammates is to call out your super. And that's important for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, if you're popping a roaming super and your teammates, you don't call it out and your teammates hear that dong, they're going to be like, ah, hammers, and they may run, they may get off a capture point, they may change up their position when they were in a good spot. So you want to make sure that you're calling it out so that your teammates know not to react, not to flight instead of fight. So it's important that you let your teammates know when you're popping your super and where. Another thing that's good about that is sometimes you've got teammates who are pretty close to having a super. So if you say, hey, I'm popping my Goldie, I'm about to be pooping some orbs out on B. So they'll kind of converge there, pick up your orbs, get their super up, and then you can just get a ton of momentum as you steamroll with supers. I know supers are a huge factor in 6s, and if you can get a super train going, especially at an advantageous time, like when Heavy's about to pop up, something like that, then you can get a full team wipe, you can keep them pushed back in their spawns, you can get both Heavy ammos, you can capture new objectives, things of the sort. So make sure that you are calling out your supers and coordinating them as need be. Now, Iron Banner can be highly frustrating. I know that it can be one of the most frustrating experiences that Destiny has to offer, and some people only play it not because it's fun, but because of the rewards. Maybe they're looking for a great Finale's Peril, they want that HMG, the last time they wanted that Waylorn's March. So the call of booty is what draws people to the Iron Banner. So if you want to maximize your fun, I know there's a lot of solo players out there, but it is a lot more fun when you play in groups, especially with friends. So what I would suggest to you, if you're a solo player, you have some options here. One option is to go in solo, and if you play well with somebody that's on your team or even against somebody who is pretty solid, shoot them a message and just say, hey, you want to team up? Say, GG, you played well, you want to team up? And if they say no, whatever. You know what? People say no. Sometimes that happens. But that's the worst that can happen. Maybe they'll say like, hey, sure, and then you got a new friend, you're playing with them. I've done that before. I've created some of my friendships in Destiny and in lots of other games by doing exactly that. That's how I got into a clan in Battlefield, was that exact scenario. So make sure that you're taking advantage of the opportunity to create new relationships and have some fun in the Iron Banner. Another option that you have, honestly, is the LFG sites. And you got a couple to choose from. But go on those LFG sites if you want to get in a full fire team. There's no shortage of people looking for players. Now, you can kind of weed out the ones that are going to be a little bit too intense, because they'll be like, post your gamer tag so we can look at your KD, only people with 2.0s or higher. Avoid those kinds of people. those people aren't in it for the fun. So, don't let that deter you. Just say, hey, looking for a fun group to run with, and because you can have a full team of mediocre players that just communicate well. And I've been on a team of great players that we were playing kind of derpy and didn't talk, and we were beaten by players who were maybe just average, but they had really good communication. They pushed together, and if their communication is better, they're probably going to win. And that's just how it goes. So don't feel like you have to have the best stats in the world to get a group on LFG. That's not really necessary. Another thing you can do, post in the comment section here, because I know that there are other people looking for groups, and this could be a decent place to do it. So if you just want to play some casual Iron Banner with other people, hey, just post in the comment section, hey, anyone want to join? I see people do that all the time and it works. So hopefully that's helpful, guys, and looking forward to finishing out this week of Iron Banner, maybe getting some fat loot. I've had one Finale's Peril drop. I'm looking for a God roll one though. So alright guys, well, I'll catch you hopefully in the banner.